Good morning. I'm Dooley Goudeau. I'm going to take you through this morning's weather forecast, primarily for the upper Midwest. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on nationally, that big storm that's raising havoc from the East Coast still. 3 days later, we're still talking about that big storm that came down out of Canada through the Midwest, the Dakota states and Minnesota. It went down through Iowa and Missouri. It dropped heavy snow from the upper Midwest down to the deep South. Then turned a corner, the base of the main trough, and headed up the eastern seaboard. This storm contained everything from snow to showers, thunderstorms, tornadoes. There was freezing rain, wind, everything you can imagine related to severe weather took place with this storm. So we're gonna jump right into our first map here, and we're gonna take you through the wonderful world of weather and what's going to be taking place this week in the weather department. All right, so here we go. Let's adjust this just a little bit. And there we go. Get rid of that black line down there. All right, this is where our storm currently resides, and it's pretty much up in New England now. Boston, we see, is getting that heavy snow. So we see there's snowing in Boston, and that snow is wrapping around through southern Canada. Montreal and Toronto is getting that snow, as well as Pennsylvania. This is New York here, heavy snow. You see that rain band is coming up, and that rain is quickly converting to snow as it comes on shore. So that rain snow line is right on the coast. So if you're on the immediate coast in Boston and Portland, you might see some rain. And there is a little bit of freezing rain. See that? So it's going to be that rain period of freezing rain and then snow, depending on where you are. If you're a little bit inland, you'll see mostly snow. As we can see, as this storm winds up and it's getting ready to make its way over Maine. So here is that big storm as it goes to the north. And this is the GFS. As you can see, this storm has been in the picture since Friday in our picture. And this is another little weather system that's going to make a little bit of weather for the upper Midwest here, from the North Dakota across Minnesota and into Wisconsin. So we see this little guy here is going to make some weather for us. And this system is going to primarily stay north of the U.S.-Canadian border. And we're going to see it go across here. And there it is. It's not going to be a big weather maker, so just a little bit of light snow for the northern tier of the country. And it has a frontal boundary that's attached to it. And you see that stream of moisture coming from the Gulf Coast up the East Coast. And this is going to be primarily a rainmaker. There is a little bit of snow in Kentucky and Tennessee. We'll see a little snow with this system. But believe it or not, we're going to talk a little bit about the next system that's right on the heels of this system. And it's going to be coming across the this one is going to be a southern-born storm. You see this low right here over northern Mexico is going to play a role. And as you can see, as it comes into Texas, showers and thunderstorms. Going to see some more severe weather along the Gulf Coast. Houston, Galveston, and Brownsville, Beaumont can see some of those thunderstorms. Maybe some severe weather with this system as it now moves into Florida. It's going to affect Florida with severe weather. And this is going to be on the 23rd. He says we progress through the 23rd. Going to be showers and some thunderstorms in these areas. So we're going to move it on out. And see now that pattern change upstream is that big high pressure right here is forcing this system out to sea. So as we can see, it's going to head out to sea, and we're going to go through time, and there's going to be another system developed, and this one is on the 25th, and it's going to also do the same. Head out to sea. See, it's going to head out to. Well, actually, a little bit of the snow could have a little wraparound snow on the 26th, so we can see a little bit more snow up in New England and the Mid-Atlantic seaboard. So that's that system in a nutshell. And then there's another southern stream system develops, and this one develops on the 29th. You see, that was 3 additional storm systems, but this one's going to go out to sea. This one's going to head out off the coast and be mainly shipping interest that gets affected by this. But it does kind of come back a little bit, and there's a little bit of weather up in Maine here, and this is going to be on the 1st of February. So as you can see, and then we get an Alberta clipper up in the upper Midwest. Minnesota, North and South Dakota, and Iowa sees this system on February 1st. Could see a little bit of snow from an Alberta clipper that's going to go south. It's kind of following the same path that the storm that we're currently dealing with has taken. So it's going to be a similar track, at least into the deep south. Then it's going to, looks like it's going to probably make that turn up the northeastern seaboard. We have yet to see if this, remind you, this is all the way out till February 2nd. So this storm doesn't even exist yet. It's probably more than likely it's going to change, always does. Once you get past that 3 to 5 day mark, these forecasts with the GFS can get kind of weird, and it's a little bit much, so we'll keep an eye on that, watch over those changes. So now we are going to jump into our European model here. And the European is showing where that storm is right now. That snow wrapping around, and we're going to progress this one. As you can see, it's going to head up the eastern seaboard. And then there's our little here is our little weather maker coming across from, this is going to be on the 18th. This is Tuesday's forecast. Our little weather maker going to come across the northern tier of the country and southern Canada. It's going to bring a little light snow to Wisconsin, Michigan, and the extreme northern fringes of Minnesota. Could see that. So that system's going to move on offshore. And then here's our next weather system coming in off the Pacific Northwest. Going to bring some rain and mountain snow out west. And let's watch that. And that's going to be with that. And high pressure will settle in around. So that cold air, you're going to see that cold air dive deep into the deep south. We're going to look at our temperature forecast here in a second. And we're going to see how that cold air really dives in. And let's take a look at some of our, I love the colors in this map. And it's going to kind of show us what's going on in the upper Midwest. Here is Minnesota, North and South Dakota. And we got Nebraska and Iowa in there and part of Wisconsin. But this is taking a look, and you can see here, this is our current air pattern, upper air pattern right now. And you can see that northwesterly flow. That's some of that air coming down off the Canada as that air is coming over the top of the western ridge. It's going to bring in, here is our next trough. This little trough here is going to bring that light snow to northern Minnesota. But you can see this bulb of cold air that's going to reinforce on the 19th. Or an overall area, and there it is as it moves through. This is going to move all the way through, and you can see it's going to push out. Then we're going to get that northern wind from the north, and really be that same pattern. This is not really a snow producing pattern for us. When we get big snowstorms here, the pattern is usually the opposite. There's usually a trough in the west and the ridge in the east. And storms on the west come down the trough, round the base of the trough, like this pattern is doing. Storms come out of the plains, go into the deep south, round the base of that big trough because of that big ridge out west. But this is typically flipped so that with the storm rounds the base and then comes from the southwest up to the plains and then enters the Minnesota area coming from the southwest. Usually those pick up Gulf moisture and then they also tap into cold air in Canada and they combine that warm and cold fight and usually produces big snowstorms for us in Minnesota. But since we have the opposite pattern, we're going to rely mostly on Alberta clippers for our snow opportunities, but they are not very big snow producers. That Friday storm we had produced up to 10 inches in parts of Minnesota and the Dakotas, but the difference about that system is that was a really strong and overachieving Alberta clippers. Alberta clipper. Usually clippers are good for, light snow amounts, not 9-10 inches. That's an overachiever right there. So, and we're gonna move on to our next map. And now this shows the same thing, but only in Wisconsin. And this is the Great Lakes area. As you can see, this here is actually our big East Coast storm as it went through the Pennsylvania and New York there. That's the big East Coast storm that we're dealing with, and this is the cold air that's going to rush in behind it. A little ridge forms here, and then the next trough of cold air comes down on the 22nd, and that's going to keep things cool, keep things dry from the north. Maybe right in here there's another trough. That little Alberta clipper comes through with a little bit of snow and some lake effect snow again for the Lake Erie, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario. You can see a little lake effect. And this area here is also famous for lake effect snow across the Lake Superior and Lake Michigan. Can see some lake effect snow. So that is that map, and let's go to our temperature forecast. This is our temperature forecast, and these are our temperatures, our current temperatures right now. As you can see in the upper Midwest, Minnesota is 24 in the Twin Cities, 21 in Rochester. Chicago is in the mid-20s, as well as Green Bay is 10, 20 down in Milwaukee, 27 in Indianapolis. Detroit is 17 degrees. 11 degrees right now. So this is Detroit right here. As you can see, Des Moines, Iowa is in the 30s right now. As you can see, kind of a uniform temperatures across the upper Midwest here as we're sharing that same air mass. And you can see in the Dakotas, pretty much it's either in the high teens to low to mid 20s. As you go further south and west, it's a little bit warmer in Iowa, where you see it's 30 in Des Moines and Nebraska. This is Omaha, Nebraska, where it's 27 degrees. As you can see, that cold air that cooler air is in place. It's actually quite mild for January standards right now, but as we progress through the future here, as you can see, that temperatures pretty much tomorrow will be a big warm up here as that next weather system coming down along the border that's traveling around along the U.S. Canada border. It's going to have a warm air advection come in ahead of it, and that system is going to warm us up on our Tuesday, and then Wednesday will go back down a little bit as that system passes to our north. As you can see, we are going to we're going to warm up a little bit more later in the week. And this is what we're looking at for the 18th. This is Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is when that weather system will pass by. So as that weather system approaches, it's going to warm up a little bit. As you can see, we warm into the lower 30s in the Minnesota here. You can see those temperatures warm to the mid to upper 30s in Iowa as well as Illinois. It almost gets to near 40. Almost near 40 in Indianapolis, 39 degrees. And this is the high for Wednesday on the 19th. So, and there's that next rush of cold air. So we see that cold air kind of come in right here, right there on the 19th, that cold air, this is Wednesday evening after that system passes. You see how we dropped to -2 here in the Twin Cities. It's going to be in the negative. You got 13 below in Fargo and Bismarck, 11 below in Aberdeen. See, as you can see in the Dakotas, it gets below zero, way well below zero, and we're going to have wind chill advisories probably posted by the National Weather Service for parts of the Dakotas and Minnesota. Could see temperature wind chills 25 below or greater. So we're going to move through, and we want to see how this cold air is really pushing down to the Gulf Coast. All right, as we can see, that's gonna get how cold it's gonna get across the nation. It's gonna get really cold across the nation, especially in the deep south. You can see this cold here. This is typical mountain cold, but this here, as it goes all the way down to the Gulf Coast, you can see temperatures in the 30s in the Louisiana, Mississippi. Let's go on. I'm going to show you where we think when that temperature really dives down. As you see, it kind of gets warmer. It kind of occurs as weather systems come up. See, this is that southern stream. We are looking at the 23rd. This is where when that southern stream storm comes up. You see it warms up as that southern storm passes, gathers strength in the area. So it's going to be a warmer storm for this time. But as these storms pass, you see that cold air dives down. See that now here's that system is heading up the eastern seaboard. When you look at these temperatures, it really tells you what the atmosphere is doing. Because you look at it, if you look at how it, see this is high pressure, you see how it twists there. There's a twisty as it goes off to the east. Then that cold air dives down, 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 down. Keeps making pushes. It keeps wanting to push all the way to the Gulf Coast, but as you can see, that it's a lot of pushback, and weather systems keep traversing along the southern jet stream, and they combine with the northern jet stream on the eastern seaboard, and the storms gather strength and race up the east coast. So let's go to and that is our map. So let's go to our fancy map here that I like to look at, and this is gonna take us into, let's go to this one here. This is my fancy map, and this is that East Coast storm winding up and winding its way on out of here. All right, there's our big storm making its way through Maine now in the upper, and you can see it still has winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings for the inland areas for upstate New York, Pennsylvania. Some places have seen as much as 20 inches of snow. A lot of snow. But usually when you get a big storm, it's usually pretty quiet across the nation. Those big storms kind of take up all the energy out of the atmosphere, so everything else tends to be calm across it. And if you look, you rarely see two big storms on the map at the same time. So once this guy clears out of here, it will make way for the next weather system. Now, let's take a look at the forecast for where you live. And this is a Minneapolis-St. Paul forecast for today. We're going to be mostly cloudy with our high near 29. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 20. And then moving into tomorrow, this is when we see that chance of snow showers. And it could mix with some freezing rain, and then a chance of rain again. It's going to be a mixed precipitation, some rain, snow, and freezing rain tomorrow and tomorrow night, because it's going to warm ahead of that system. But this is only a 20% chance, so most of us may not see anything. But if you see anything, this is what those conditions will look like. And this is for Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay. Your forecast is going to be quite calm. Mostly cloudy today with a high around 28. Mostly cloudy again tonight with a low in the mid to upper teens. If you're in tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 35. It's going to warm up nice because that Alberta Clipper is heading towards you. You will be in the warm air advection, where you will lead to a 20% chance of snow after 1. And again, this is mostly for northern Wisconsin, mid-season. So if you're in Milwaukee, Madison, I don't think you're going to see any snow. Green Bay might see a few flakes. If you see anything, it's not going to be amounting much. It's just going to be enough just maybe to make the road a little greasy. So please be careful there. And this is Chicago, Rockford, and the Peoria area. This is primarily northern Illinois. Nice weather again today, mostly cloudy with a high near 33. Yeah, northwest winds, and then tonight going to be cloudy with a low around 23. So, again, you're not going to be affected by that Alberta Clipper very much. Tomorrow you're going to be 39 degrees. And then tomorrow night we'll see a low around 7. You see how that low kind of drops off? Because that Alberta Clipper does pass to the north, and then those colder temperatures do come on in. So the only thing that Alberta Clipper is going to do for you is increase your winds and drop the temperature. That's what happens primarily when you see these weather systems and they are kind of starved for moisture. They tend to produce more wind because they have to translate their energy some way. So if they can't do it through precipitation, they do it through temperature change, wind, and the change in direction. Can you see how the wind is southeast on today and tonight, but then tomorrow it changes to west, southwest, because that's that air suddenly coming from the ridge of high pressure that moves in, that cold ridge on the backside of that low. So this is Iowa's forecast here. Warm, nice, mild temperatures today with a high near 33. Tonight it's going to be a low around 23. And then tomorrow, partly sunny, 39 for your high in Des Moines. And these temperatures, now Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and Davenport, from across the state, the temperatures are going to be fairly uniform in those areas. May not be the exact temperature for each city, but it's going to be around in that average, in that range around 38, 39, maybe 40 degrees. And then tomorrow night, as you can see, again, your temperature drops too, because that weather system that's way up in northern Minnesota and along the border brings those winds on the backside as it passes, brings that colder air. So you're going to have a low tomorrow night around 70, it's not 70, we wish, around 7 degrees. So, that is your daily update for today. That's your forecast for the upper Midwest, and a look at the national trend, and a look at that big storm that's still affecting folks in the Northeast. It's good to see that the storm is cleared and the temperatures have recovered down south a little bit. Some of that snow can melt. Maybe we can start to melt some of that freezing rain off the surfaces, melt some of that ice, and those power crews can get folks back up and running. So thank you for watching this video, and I would like for you to subscribe to my channel, because I'm a new YouTuber. I think this is I've only been doing this a week and a half now, and I would like for you to subscribe to the channel, and remember to like your video. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about, please leave a comment. If you like what I'm doing, please leave comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps the YouTube algorithm to pick up my channel and promote my channel to other folks. Thank you. Have a good day. I hope you have a good Martin Luther King Day. I will be back tomorrow morning with another forecast to get you through your day tomorrow. All right? Thank you. And also, go onto my other social media. There is you can copy and paste my links to my TikTok channel, my Facebook, to my Twitter. So remember to Facebook, Twitter, and I have my I'm not really big on Instagram, but Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and my YouTube channel. So remember to like, share, follow on those other platforms as well. You'll get other great content, and thank you, and have a good day.